Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where each week you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. For those of you who may be listening for the first time to this weekly show, during the hour we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today we're going to be visiting with Harry Johnson, who's the Director of the Transportation Department at Maui Economic Opportunity. You know those buses you see on the road all the time, all over the place? Some are yellow, some are white, but they all say, oh, and you've also got some white and green ones that say operated by MEO.
Correct.
So you've got 3 different buses out there running around. Harry, you've been in the transportation business a long time.
Yes.
It was that sigh before he said yes.
That's an understatement. Yeah, I've been in the transportation industry over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has been with MEO.
A lot of it has been with MEO. Took about a 2.5, 3-year stint with another company.
Okay.
Dealing with transportation in the tourist industry, as well as with the fixed route and paratransit.
For the county bus.
For the county buses, correct.
Yeah. So it's all related. I mean, it's all moving people.
Correct.
But MEO has so many different programs in the transportation area. And I think the ones we probably hear the most about are like the ones for the seniors.
Yep.
And then we have, they basically ride the shuttle?
It's a shopping shuttle, what they call it, the rural shopping shuttle. Seniors also have excursions to go on.
Excursions! Tell me about that.
So they have 3 free excursions through the County of Maui. That has been funded by the County of Maui. And these 3 free excursions, they can go anywhere on the island of Maui, as well as on Molokai and Lanai as well.
Oh, so within Maui
County.
Maui County.
Yeah,
okay.
Maui County.
So now, how would somebody get into this? Do they have to belong to something?
They would need to belong to a club, a senior club. They can contact MEO, depending upon where they live. Get into a club and enjoy some of the benefits that are provided for them under the county contract and also through MEO.
Cool. So senior for that type of count is what? Somebody's 55 and older or 60? You don't know. I stumped you.
I'm going to get to that point one of these days.
Well, the typical senior today.
The typical senior would be, it can't be 55 because I'm almost there.
He refuses to become one.
Yeah, I have to calculate.
Okay, well, what they can do is call MEO. And
MEO.
They have a coordinator for the senior clubs.
They actually do. They have several. And that all works through our community services department, run by one of the directors that you had here on the show.
Right,
previously.
Jerry Lum.
And they coordinate that with the senior coordinators. Currently, there are 3 in that department, and they work with several senior clubs. And the clubs range anywhere from 20 to 100 members.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they could call MEO, ask for community services or senior coordinator, and then discuss with them where they live, what they're interested in. I guess each of the clubs probably has a different focus.
Yeah, there's several clubs that I've been to. You have clubs with that go to the Hongwanji Club, Hongwanji events. I'm sorry, not the Hongwanji, but cultural events at various clubs. They also travel to Hana for the Hana Taro Fest.
Right.
The Haiku Fest as well. They also go to the island of Lanai and Molokai.
Well, somebody just went there yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, we actually coordinate that with our branch manager there. And it's typically Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Uh-huh.
We transport them to the harbor here in Lahaina, and we pick them up, or our staff on Lanai pick them up on Lanai, take them into town, get them going, and do the return, and it's a very interesting day for them as well.
They walk around and check out the many little shops and have lunch. And
I actually like going to the island of Lanai. It brings you back to some old hometowns, and it's really nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
They have a fun time.
So they go. So for that adventure, they probably they meet someplace.
Yeah, they for example, they would meet at their designated nutrition site, or at the War Memorial Gym, or wherever it may be. We pick them up. We get a total count from their senior coordinator, pick them up, and then transport them to Lahaina or to wherever else that they want to go.
So, like, excuse me, for the Lanai trip, they would be, they would get to the harbor for like the 9 o'clock boat or something.
They would get to the harbor for the 9 o'clock, and then they would come back. I believe at 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
Yeah.
But that gives them plenty of time over there to enjoy and see.
Yeah, they can have lunch, enjoy Lanai as it is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool. But you don't get a whole lot of calls for people wanting to take day trip to Molokai, do you?
We have a couple.
Have you?
Yeah, and it's
That's
a long.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a long trip. I remember attending one of the meetings for upcountry seniors. They actually planned something to go to Molokai.
And they take a boat?
They would take a boat, and a couple of them actually wanted to take the airlines there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boat's a longer trip.
Long trip, and it's a rough one sometimes coming back. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So that's good. But now, like, if they want to stay on Maui, you mentioned the Taro Fest. You got haiku, hana, but they can also do things like go to
a restaurant,
Lahaina for the week, for the week. For the day.
They can go to the restaurant. They usually have activities surrounding Mother's Day.
Okay.
They have other activities also surrounding the county's senior fair event. They can do pretty much anything, whatever's on Maui. Botanical Gardens, Maui Ocean Center, Oil Foundation, hotel dinners, or whatever it may be. Yeah.
Whale watching trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Whatever it takes.
So for all you seniors out there, here's an opportunity to get involved and get 3 excursions a year and your input into where you want to go.
Correct.
That's a neat thing. You're not required to go someplace or another.
And it's also not limited for those who can walk, but we do provide ADA services or accessible services for each of the buses.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So we'll give Jerry Lum a salute here. We just promoted his department.
Right.
And if the phones ring off the hook for community services, you can call 249-2990 and say you want community service or senior coordinators, and just talk story with them and find out what all it entails. Now, there's some of those you mentioned. The club is organized around cultural situation, or like ARP. There's a couple of them that are ARP related, right? And some some of the clubs have been around a long time.
We have several clubs that have been around for a while, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
We've also seen a change in the leadership. It's a little younger type of leadership right now, so they're really active in the activities that they choose.
And some of those clubs meet once a month, some maybe more often.
They meet once a month. They get together and coordinate their activities, what they plan for. But they have these events that keep them active.
And they have speakers like you who come and tell them what's going on.
Yes, they do. And give them updates as far as their transportation needs, as well as anything else that goes on with MEO or the community.
Right. Now, you can also provide transportation for them to their meetings, right?
Yes, we do. That's an ongoing event. They usually meet once a month, and I'm sure you're familiar with that as well.
He's not saying I'm a senior. I just know a few people in some of these clubs.
And we take them to their club meetings, and then they go back to their homes and get ready for any other event that's coming up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, also, if I recall correctly, when they do these excursions, they can be picked up at their homes and taken to to the site where they meet the whole group to go together.
Correct. We'll do two types of services. We'll either do a house-to-house, which is basically a one-on-one, or we'll do a site pickup, or both. We have buses that will pick you up at your home, and then we'll pick up at the site. And it's a lot of coordination on that.
Well, I guess.
Mixed together with the president of the club, the senior coordinator, and our staff. So a lot of preparation on that.
Interesting, yeah. So do you have any idea how many clubs there are?
See, you're giving me that.
See,
question.
I threw that out, and I know that I've heard the number 80, but
Correct.
Is that possible?
I would say that's a very good assessment.
Okay, so if there's 80 clubs, they have meetings once a month.
Mm-hmm.
That means you got at least
a lot of meetings.
4 a day. What?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There are a lot, yeah. And then throw in the 3 excursions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also heard someone talking the other day, and this is not an MEO function that I'm going to talk about here for a minute. Kaunoa has a evening dinner excursion. They said they rode on an MEO bus.
We coordinate a lot of transportation activities with Kaunoa Senior Center, which involves excursions such as that. Also attendance to the Kaunoa Senior Center on various days.
Oh, for classes?
For classes.
Oh,
correct.
Cool.
Yeah, so a lot of coordination with that as well.
Now, is that open to all ages? Or is that's senior center?
It's a senior center.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the seniors really have got a lot of opportunities to get out and about and do things
yes, they do.
if they want to.
Yeah, they do.
Ooh, it's almost worth retiring to be able to go and do those things, right? Almost.
We blow glass.
Well, oh, yeah. Gary and I promised the folks at the Hui we were going to come up and check out their glass blowing class.
Wow.
Doesn't that sound like fun? You want to go with us?
I think I would. Send me the invite.
Okay. When we pick a day, we'll let you know. And
okay.
We don't need a bus, but we'll just we'll just run up there.
We'll just meet.
But I mean, somebody could be taken to the Hui for a class, couldn't they?
Yes.
I just happened to think of that.
Yeah. It's not impossible.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, would that be on like the shuttle, upcountry shuttle kind of thing? It could be?
It could be the upcountry shuttle. It could be the ice shuttle, which is considered as an internal shuttle
okay.
for the upcountry area.
So if you lived in Kula, wanted to go to the Hui, which is on Baldwin Avenue,
mm-hmm.
just below Makawa, you could make arrangements
you
to
can make
go.
arrangements for that as well.
Now, is that all day? Does that run all day? Or?
It ends at 5, I believe, at 5:30.
Okay, so they'd be done by that time anyway. Yeah. So, okay, that's cool, and that's just constantly running.
It's based on a reservation system. We actually try to coordinate that to stay up specifically in the upcountry area, and that varies from day to day, depending upon how many people use that service.
So, if you've got, say, you have. Your doctor has told you need 8 chiropractic sessions or something.
Okay.
And you pick a chiropractor close to home because you don't have transportation. You could take this shuttle from home, say home is Makawa or home is Pukalani, and the chiropractor's in Makawa.
You could use that as well.
You could make that arrangement as well.
Correct.
Interesting. Or you can just go shopping.
Yeah. Yeah, you could. You could do anything within that time parameter.
Gosh, that's fabulous. Now, is this something that other communities across the country have?
Probably not. And honestly,
not in this total picture.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to cheer on the Maui County for providing this service for all of its community members.
Right.
You don't have this on any other county here in the state for sure.
Now, is part of this because we're so spread out?
Actually, no.
Or is it just because we take care of our seniors?
We take care of our seniors, and the seniors are actively engaged in their community. And then during that activity, they also have an opportunity to teach the new and upcoming seniors. So that's a continual flow of seniors coming to the program, making sure that they're active.
Right, right. We got to take a short break. We'll be back in just a minute with Harry Johnson of MEO Transportation.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, talking story with Harry Johnson, who's the Director of Transportation for MEO. And he's moving a lot of people around this island every day. So we just spent the first 20 minutes talking about seniors and the opportunities for them. And again, we're going to say, if you don't belong to a senior club and you want to get out and get about going and doing things, call MEO's Community Services Department, 249-2990, and ask to talk to a senior club coordinator and just find out which one might fit what you want to get involved in.
They can lead you to the right club.
Yeah, and that'll also lead you then to some excursions you can take. And we're talking about the rural. Now, was the rural shuttle one of the first ones?
Well, the rural shuttle was actually one of the first ones that we MEO was involved in. The rural shuttle, as well as what we used to call the public shuttle. And
okay,
yeah,
it's the way he said that and the look he had on his face.
And the public shuttle. Actually, we were involved initially with a fixed route service.
Okay.
For Maui, and it basically ran between Kahului and Wailuku. And there are several stops similar to what the fixed route is today.
For the bus.
A lot smaller scale.
Okay.
But it basically started off what was the need for a fixed route service to get people between two communities. And as it grew, obviously to what it is now, run under the Department of Transportation, the Maui bus. And we actually had a hand in that, in starting that process.
Right. Because that just grew and grew. And
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So then you run into, you're doing the rural shuttle.
Rural shuttle, which is your shopping shuttle.
Okay.
Basically, it's a reservation system or demand response. We actually have people who need the service, their pickup time in the morning. What we would do is have them give us a call the day before, make a reservation for their particular area. If they live in Lahaina, Haiku, Kula, Wailuku, Kahului, Waihe, come in to the central area of Maui and do their shopping or whatever they need up till about 12 o'clock, 12:30, and then transfer them back to their home with their packages and things that they had to do.
Okay.
And that not only involves the island of Maui, but also Lanai and as well as Molokai as well. And we actually have residents from Lanai come over and do that same shopping process here on Maui.
Oh, they take the first boat over so they can catch right away.
Take the first boat over, we do the whole shopping thing with them.
They can go to Costco and
oh yeah, they go to Costco and bring their.
Now come on, you well yeah okay you don't have. I mean, how much can they bring?
Usually, for the island of for Lanai residents, we would have our branch manager coordinate who's coming, and exactly where they're going here on Maui, and then we'll take them there. They will bring their coolers because it's a long day for them.
Right.
Throw all their stuff in there, get them going back on the ferry, and
interesting.
Yeah, it's
That's a great way for them to do it because, I mean, obviously the cost of renting a car would make it prohibitive to come over here and do that. Although I know that there's a lot of people on Lanai who have extra cars sitting over here waiting for folks to be able to use when they come. But still, you got gas and whatever.
I actually had relatives before used to live on Lanai and come over and do the same thing on this shopping shuttle. So, yeah, it works. It works for anybody, any age.
Interesting. That's good. That's very good. So then they would end up back in Lahaina at like for the 230
Back in Lahaina for the 230
bus
boat. Yeah.
boat.
Yeah, the water bus.
The water bus. Very good.
For the 230 boat going back, and we'll help them with their bags and stuff, get them going, and
Cool.
move on. Yeah.
So now, in general, is bus ridership up?
Bus ridership is up.
And a lot of people say, oh, well, people are driving again because the gas prices are down, and so there's probably less ridership. But I would think once they find out how great this is.
The ridership is at a constant level right now. We've had a lull here and there, but there's shifts in demand, whether that would be in the age group or their location. Well, basically, it's pretty even, with a slight incline in the amount of demand for these human services, what we call human services transportation, and then also again for the paratransit service that we also operate.
Okay, so when you refer to human services programs, that is what? That's the rural shuttle?
That would be the rural shuttle, Alaho. That would also be Kaunoa Senior Services, youth transportation, dialysis transportation, and any other type of community transportation. And I believe that's pretty much the gist of it.
Pretty close. Okay.
But it's basically what MEO has been doing for all of these years. That would be considered as a human services.
Okay, now they have to qualify to use these services.
From some of them, they do. What we would like to get, for example, on the rural shuttle services, we would basically request for their information, their address, phone number. That way we can know where we need to pick them up, also know where they need to go, have an emergency contact if it's available, just to keep us intact with performing any type of services beyond the current need. So that helps us a lot. We also have them fill out some forms in regards to the Alaho program. And then the ADA paratransit, we also have that available.
So it's not so much that they need to qualify as it's just records for you in case.
It's a record for us in the event that there is a concern or an emergency on the vehicle or with the client, that we have a reference as to who do we contact.
Now, I remember at one point you would when somebody signed up before they were approved to ride, you would send a bus out to their location to make sure you could access.
Yeah, we would actually do an assessment on their site to make sure that our buses are
can make it down the driveway.
Up or down the driveway, yeah. It's typically a curb-to-curb type of service, but we want to make sure that our definition of curb is the same with what they think that their definition of curb is.
I'm not going to meet you at my curb because it's 2.5 miles from my house.
Yeah, as long as it's accessible, and that's one of the things that we look forward to, is making sure that's accessible to our buses as well as for the client itself.
Right. Yeah. So trees with low-hanging limbs,
trees,
bushes that come over halfway across the driveway.
Yeah, unpaved driveway.
Oh, there you go.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it can be a hindrance for the driver.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, hello, that saves the buses. That's pretty key.
Let's see. I think one of the, besides Hana, we have staff who are located in Hana and bringing community members out here into the central part of Maui for shopping. That's a long trek. It's a narrow road. And then we also, a little bit tighter road would be a trip to Kalakaloa for the shuttle service.
You go out there?
Yeah, we actually do.
Wow. What happens when you meet somebody on that road?
We actually, we have one client who is from the community. It's a gentleman, and I had an opportunity to transport him last week Thursday. I was assigned to go out to Kalakaloa, pick him up, and take him to a couple of places, and his return was at 12:30, and then another driver took him back. So, and that road's a little narrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, were you using one of the cars?
We actually used one of the cars because
Yeah.
there was no way.
Bus can't do
yeah,
that.
bus would be too wide.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably do that, but I'd prefer not
Yeah,
to.
you probably could, but I don't know.
You know, there was a lot of people are concerned. I was like, wow, you guys really go out there? I'm like, yeah, we actually do. And he's trying to get more people to use the service, especially from Kalakalo. And that's one of the newer areas that we've acquired through the county of Maui. There was a need at that particular time, and then we're fulfilling that need currently.
Interesting. So you almost go around the island.
For now. For now, yes.
You don't go on the backside of
no,
Haleakala.
we don't. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, but you're in Hana. Can the Hana bus go like out towards Seven Pools and around that way, part way?
There are some areas that the Hana would cover, and because of the size of their bus and the way it is, there's a few people that actually come out from those areas, and that's all coordinated with our staff in Hana.
In Hana.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. I just the dynamics of this whole thing it sounds like a monster.
It's exciting. But the fulfillment of the clients and being able to get out to areas where they need, such as shopping or even to their medical appointments.
Right.
That's the focus of that program.
Well, I think from everything I've heard, it's the rule is pretty much it happens the way it's supposed to. Once in a great while, you'll get somebody who's disappointed because they got picked up late or something happened, and so they get a little upset about it. But the bottom line is, from everything I hear, it's exceptional.
We've some of that is contributed to our staffing. What I'm saying is that we are very short of drivers, and a lot of that is attributed to the economy.
As it improves, construction goes back to work.
Yeah, it's usually about a 5-year duration. Every 5 years, there's construction, and that's when staff look for other avenue or other means to supplement their income. It's an economical turn in things, and we are short of staff at this moment.
We're getting into that again. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you see Harry driving, that's definitely.
Well, I was thinking when you said you went out to Kahakaloa, I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
We have to continue with that service, and with that shortage of drivers, I have to drive, and that's not a problem.
The word no is not in your vocabulary.
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, we can't pick you up. We don't have a bus. Well, we have a bus, but we don't have a driver.
Yeah.
That you just have to work around that and figure out how to maybe combine some trips that might have been separated.
Yeah, a good thing is that in our office staff, there are several staff members that carry a CDL license. And in the event things go short, we get deployed.
Lock the door. Everybody's getting in a bus today.
Yeah, I'm grateful that we've MEO has actually set up that plan for a long time ago when having everyone with a CDL license, and that worked out for us now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very good. That's great. Now you've got some people that have been with you for a long time.
Yes, we do.
Drivers and staff.
We've had drivers that have been. I've been with the company since I started in 1993. There are several other drivers and staff that have been there before me.
Wow.
They continue on in working for MEO in the transportation department, as well as in other departments throughout the company. It's basically something that they believe in,
right?
And they've been with us that long, so
that's great.
I think it's something worth looking into.
Yeah, that's pretty terrific. So the CDL license that you made reference to, that's to drive the bigger buses.
That would be able to drive the bigger buses.
Okay, so what size, say I came in and wanted to apply for a job, I've basically just got my regular driver's license.
So with that particular driver's license, there are certain weight limits for vehicles that you can transport. Then there's also the amount of passengers that you can also transport. So there are restrictions on that as well. as with a Type 3 license, which is typically what everybody else has. With the CDL license, there's a B class and then there's an A class. It all varies upon the type of equipment that you have, the weight value as well, and then your maneuverability on these particular vehicles. Holding a CDL is very important. It's not an easy thing to obtain.
Really?
But once you obtain it, that pretty much carries you throughout life as long as you continue on with the requirements for that CDL.
You have to renew it, update?
You have to renew it. You also have to keep up with your blood pressure.
Is there a physical that goes with it?
Yeah, there's a physical that goes with it.
Okay.
Your vision, your hearing, all of these things are all part of that whole CDL process.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of your CDL drivers will be driving the buses that like the youth use after school, right?
Youth transportation uses large school buses with the weight value, at capacity anywhere from 40 to 55 students on one particular bus. I give them a lot of credit. They also need to, because they are driving a school bus, they need an S endorsement for S for school. And I give them a lot of credit for holding on their patience as they transport students from school and to the youth centers. I give credit to a lot of drivers who drive children to and from school.
Now, is that an everyday thing?
It's an everyday thing.
Okay.
And then with that youth transportation service, they also provide on seasonal areas or seasonal times transportation to canoe paddling, and other activities coordinated with the youth centers here on Maui.
Okay.
And the emphasis on that youth transportation program or the youth services is to get students from school to these youth agencies, Boys and Girls Club, youth centers, and then we return them back to their area.
Did they go back to the school then, or
they actually go back to their home areas?
No, you take them home.
Yeah, we have certain drop-off sites.
Okay.
That's designated.
Neighborhoods, kinds of things.
That's correct.
Interesting. So, what time of day are we talking about for that? School's out what?
School's out.
2:30?
Typically 2:30. We usually come in after the DOE's school buses go through, and we pick up from different schools, drop off to various youth agencies. And then we do the reverse, except on the reverse, we take them back to their home areas.
And what time of day would that be? Is that for supper?
4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, we start to take our students back home. And it's almost like a fixed route, but it's just having to do with youth.
So if that weren't available, the kids would be stuck at school.
Then you'd have more traffic on the road as
either
well.
that or parents would be driving in and out.
And a lot of it helps the parents as well. They don't have to take a break at 2:30 in the afternoon to pick up their child or their student and take them to a youth center.
So instead of having to stick around for A+ or whatever, if they want to be involved in activities, they use the bus. Cool.
They'll go to the youth centers.
That's neat. So, on any given day, how many students are you hauling? Just throw a number. How many buses are out there?
I have 11 routes.
11 routes.
So
okay.
What you're thinking,
so if you got 40 in each bus?
Yeah, that's 400 plus.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah,
a lot of kids. So we're up against a break again. We'll take another short break and we'll be right back with Harry Johnson of MEO Transportation.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes. This afternoon we're talking story with Harry Johnson, who's the director of the Department of Transportation for MEO, Maui Economic Opportunity, and the bus service. And the bus, I still think about some of the, because I used to go to the hearings at the council, and stuff, like right now, budget
That's
time.
coming up.
I know, you guys all prepared. So I would listen, and I'd hear different people get up, and the people who have issues, in most cases, are the ones who speak the loudest. And so they would throw out some of these things that happened that they didn't appreciate or whatever. And I keep thinking of all the people that you transport, and how few people really ever got up and spoke. That's just a testament to what a great job you guys are doing, I think.
Thanks.
Because it's I wouldn't even want to attempt it. I wouldn't know where to start.
When MEO first took on the paratransit service, and I excuse me, I rejoined MEO, came back, and as we took on the paratransit program, I knew for a fact that there was going to be some resistance because of the previous provider and the way they coordinated their services versus how the services were being coordinated by MEO and along with the County of Maui. I don't degrade the service provider, but I appreciate being able to be a part of that company and then providing the services for the community that we serve. When that did come over to MEO, the paratransit service came over to MEO. It was a huge transition. There were several rules and regulations that had to be instilled, not only with MEO, but also with the people that actually
riders.
Riders themselves. And for that first, I'd say for that first year, there was definitely a transition as far as what the expectation was for that particular service versus what the federal requirements provided. That has since, we are actually on our third year already, that has definitely cooled down. And then you have those clients who use the service still have concerns as far as what their needs are, and that's addressed with the County of Maui, Department of Transportation. And I guess wherever you go, people will still request for these different needs, and that's just part of the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own need when it comes to ADA paratransit. The hours of operation for paratransit.
Depending upon where you live, there are certain. It basically follows the same program or schedule as a Maui bus service. So if Kihei, as an example, starts at 6:30 coming into Central, 6 o'clock going out. So it all depends on where you're from and where you're going to. Basically, it runs the exact schedule of the fixed route service.
Okay. But why? So if it runs the same schedule, why is there something special needed for?
So on the paratransit service, this is a complimentary service for the fixed route service, which is required by law. It runs 3/4 of a mile along each route on the fixed route on the Maui bus service. So if you basically draw a line, draw a circle on a 3/4 mile radius, and move that along that fixed route line, that would be the maximum or the minimum area of coverage that the paratransit service provides.
Within a circle or without?
Within.
Within. Okay, so what about somebody who lives on the other side of that line?
So that service, it would not be provided for them. And
Okay.
so you could contact the MEO and see if the paratransit service is not provided or you're not qualified for that service. You can contact the MEO and find out if they have services available for you as well.
Of one of the other
Shopping
programs
shuttle,
you have, okay.
Alaho, yeah,
I see.
iShuttle.
Okay. So what's the advantage of using the paratransit service?
The paratransit service requires an application similar to what we have with the Alaho service. There's a medical requirement that your physician
Okay.
fills out. That application is all handled by the Department of Transportation in the County of Maui.
Okay.
Once they review your application, and there are certain questions that need to be answered as far as your accessibility. If you meet that qualification, they will give you that notice, and you could start within the maximum of 21 days after you turn in your application.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that helps. That particular service is a demand response service. You can call today before 4 o'clock and get that service for tomorrow at 6 or 6:30
In the
or
morning.
wherever you live. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, at one point, and I could be very foggy on this because it doesn't really involve me in it. I'm listening to people talk. There was something about if you were in that circle, that 3/4 of a mile circle, that it was to take you to the bus stop and to get on the regular county bus. Is that what it is?
That was an option, and it's still an option, but the county currently elects the fact that we will go to your door or your curb, pick you up from there, and transport you along the route, 3/4 of a mile radius along each route. That's what the county has chosen currently at this particular moment.
So you kind of go side by side with the bus and take them to where they want to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So the Maui bus stop in front of the state building on High Street.
Okay.
It's right in front of the state building. The 3/4 mile radius would be the fork in the road where
going out to Iao.
and
Okay.
that would be the farthest distance in that direction,
Okay.
3/4 of a mile. So if you live outside of that area, you would, for this particular purpose, if you live in Wailuku Heights area, the Alaho program is available for you. And so there's usually something available to cover all areas for transportation service. Yeah, which is
And all of the buses have ADA equipment.
they all have ADA equipment, basically wheelchair lift. They have equipment to tie down your wheelchair. It's accessible for all passengers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but if you're within that 3/4 of a mile, you would get the MEO bus would come get you.
You would get the green and white bus.
Okay, operated by MEO.
Yeah, exactly. Operated by MEO. And it's got the same logo that the Maui bus
Right.
has. And those are smaller buses, and they transport everything for paratransit on those buses.
Okay, so if the person who's getting on that bus is planning a trip to Lahaina, then they would get on the city bus at High Street and go to Lahaina, or are you going to take them to Lahaina
We could take them from their residence to Lahaina
and back again?
and back again.
Interesting. Okay.
Or wherever other point that they
wherever
can go
they're-
within
yeah.
that 3/4 miles up to the closing of that particular route.
Interesting. Okay. Because for some reason that sticks out in my mind that was somebody's concern. Why would you pick them up and take them to a bus?
They actually have services that run that, not in particular with this county.
Okay.
But that's an option as well.
Interesting. Well, I think we're just so fortunate that the county council understands, the needs of our people. And as I said earlier, when I first heard about all this, I'm thinking, wow, it's because we are so spread out. We have our communities that we live in, Paia, Upcountry, Kula, Makawao, and yet we have the center of services basically here in Central.
Correct.
And a lot of people, by the time they hit the senior years, whether it's 55, 60, 65, can't drive, you can't afford it, maybe have a vision impairment or a physical limitation, and it's just not the safest thing for them to try to drive. And so with these services, they can still go see their doctors on a regular basis. They can get their shopping done. And again, it takes a load maybe off of family that they live with, to not have to be accessible to take them to some of these things. Take time off from work. We do have a lot of 3-generation households.
Correct.
Where we have mom or dad or both, and the kids, and then now the grandkids. And while the parents in the middle, I mean, it's definitely a sandwich.
Yeah, it's definitely a sandwich.
Yeah, they're trying to keep their kids busy in school and active and all the advantages that school has to offer. And then there's mom and dad who need their attention and time too. So I salute the county council for doing everything they can to keep you guys operating at fullest capacity.
And we definitely appreciate what they do, as well as with the mayor in providing this service for the community through MEO.
Yeah.
It's a huge benefit. It helps people identify their independency and needing to go places without the help of a family or a friend. But if they need to, then that's available as well with the other agencies that provide those type of services.
Right. Oh, that's true. There are other services like Na Aloha.
Mm-hmm.
No, what's in front of that? Something Na Aloha. Ho Aloha. No, Naho Aloha.
See,
that's
he's got
it.
it.
Yeah, very good. He's such a wealth of knowledge because he sits here and he listens to all these programs and does all these public service announcements for us, and it's great. Whenever I don't know and I get stuck on something, he's right there. So Gary, thank you for being there and paying attention. That's that's the great part. So like they do, they have volunteers who drive people back and forth to things, people.
Yes.
If somebody wants that one-on-one relationship. So, but I just as I drive past, you've got that wonderful new facility out on the highway.
Yeah.
Do we call it a wonderful facility?
We do call it a wonderful facility. Well, I do.
It looks so forlorn sitting out there in that big field, Looks like there should be a rack of some sort out there with it. But that's when you get is your next project bringing the...
Our next project.
Yes.
That we're hoping to obtain with the help of the county council. Uh-huh. And the mayor, as well as with the state, is our transportation maintenance facility. And currently we pay $12,000 a month for an area that we're utilizing now. And so we want to take that and place it into a building that will be able to support our service with our maintenance facility. Currently we're about 2 miles away. And if we have everything on that particular property, it's going to be a whole lot easier to transport and perform the services.
And a whole lot less expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, $12,000 a month. It's time to get out of there.
Yes, it is.
You know that all too well.
Yeah.
And you've got plenty of land to do that with.
We've got an entire section set up and ready to go. We're pretty much shovel ready, as we mentioned before. So we're waiting for that to get approved by the county council, and we hope for that to take place. I'm grateful for the mayor for putting in that portion in the budget, along with other aspects of our services. And we also are currently working with a bus wash facility and an emergency generator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So who washes your buses now? The drivers?
The staff.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really?
And when it rains.
Oh, the rain. Gotcha. Wonderful rain. It just, I know every time when I drive by there, they cut the grass around your lot.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago or something, and all of a sudden those buses are just standing there, and I'm going, wait, they got more buses, and then I realized the grass got cut.
Yeah, we're kind of hidden just off the highway, but we really like it. It's a wonderful facility.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I know the move out there wasn't all that easy, but
Yeah, it took several years, but thanks to those who worked on it back then, and our current CEO and her staff,
there you are.
Yeah, definitely
And on to the next phase, which is getting the service bays out there.
correct.
Wonderful. Harry, thank you for being with us. Any last thoughts that you want to convey?
I definitely want to say thank you, Susie, for inviting MEO and their department heads to your show. We appreciate it, to get our information out to the community. And we're there to serve the community, and we appreciate being able to be funded by the county and state agencies. And we look forward to continual success for the community as well.
Great. Thank you so much. And for all of you who've been listening to this hour of the show, one thing we haven't done is give out the phone number for MEO Transportation.
Oh.
That's 877-7651. So if we've confused you with any of the information we've given, I know we've said a lot, and I've been associated with MEO since, what's it been, 12 years? I think it was 12 years ago when I started working over there. And so I know some of this stuff, and so I know when you and I talk, there's some things that, just we know,
There's
so we maybe
some
not
history.
say it.
Yeah, some history.
So please give them a call and see if they can help you with your transportation needs. Again, that number is 877-7651. Harry, thank you so much.
Thanks, Susie.
Great. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. Today we visited with Harry Johnson of MEO Transportation and got an update on what the agency is doing. If you heard anything that makes you want to get involved with MEO or using transportation from MEO, give them a call at 877-7651. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week, right here on Wednesday at noon on KAOI Radio, 1110 AM, 96.7 FM, 96.5 FM on the west side, when we'll be featuring representatives of two other agencies who are members of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, and I have got time left. I can't believe that. Sometimes I go through this, and it's like, seconds. And now the music's just starting. That usually starts 3 paragraphs up the page. Whoa, what are you doing to me, Gary?
We need to talk about the glass.
Is that it? Yeah. We're going to go blow some glass, and then we'll... Whoo, man, that'll take it out of my lungs. Such a deal. Anyway, next week, 2 more agency members will join us and talk about their programs. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha, and enjoy the music.